Hi, friends. I just wanted to first say thank you for joining me here at this coffee shop. I know that we meet here frequently. About once a month is our goal. And so I'm so glad that you're here. I know the past few weeks we've been talking about the topic of Christianity, the Trinity, salvation, forgiveness of sins, and everything in between. And in the past few weeks of listening to what you had to say about it, I have really been encouraged, and it's been really a knowledgeable time for me to hear your thoughts, especially as unbelievers, and just how it is you perceive God, Christ, Christianity, and everything of the sort. I called for us to meet here today because, like I said, as I've heard your responses and your questions and your conversations about Christianity, I wanted to present my 2 cents and just share what I had to say about it. First, to start, as you all know, you've met my parents. Growing up as a kid, I was raised by a label parent and a knockoff parent. One parent only wore name brand clothes and purchased name brand products, while the other parent was content with cheaper generic options. And I remember as a child, I was questioning which is better, name brand or generic, and trying to figure that out because I just always saw a dichotomy between the way my parents purchased things. And I asked my dad, and in my conversation with my name brand dad, I asked him which was better. And of course, his biased response was name brand. But what shocked me is he followed up with that response by saying, but you'd have to try it for yourself and make up your mind. In hindsight now, I'm glad he said that, because that statement, you have to try it for yourself to see, to really understand, that statement flows into many other areas of our life. And I think specifically when it comes to God and our relationship with him and things of the sort. So I started wondering as I thought back on that story with my dad and I, when we had first had our conversations about Christ and I introduced Christ to you all, I remember you guys were telling me that you've been wrestling with the question and thinking, is Jesus truly the best option? Thinking, I want to try Jesus for myself, or I need to try Jesus for myself, but is he truly the best option? And is this truly the one true religion? Is this what is the answer? Is Christ the answer? We had several discussions and you guys had several questions regarding those, which is so natural and so understanding that you did. We also had many discussions in which we were wondering, is God even worth believing in? We're also wondering if Christianity is truly the saving religion, right? And I want to encourage you all in your thought process of thinking that. I think it's very natural, especially as you are just becoming acquainted with Christ. I want to encourage you and let you know that those questions are very common. Your questions about this topic are not unique to you. Every believer has faced these questions and have had that wheel turning in their mind. And this thought process or these questions are not only modern, but also occurred in biblical times. For example, with Paul, we see in Acts chapter 17, verse 23, he felt the need to address an inscription he saw on an altar. And the inscription said, "To the unknown God." It seemed like at that time the Athenians were trying to cover all bases by including "to the unknown God" in their rituals of appreciation and praise. And it makes me think, like, how much more as humans today do we find interest in covering all bases just to be safe, right? Like, would hate to die and find out I was wrong, so let me cover all bases to make sure I'm safe and I have salvation. Or similarly, how we first came to this coffee shop. I remember we did not know what coffee to get, right? Like, this place was new to us. And we ended up just trying some drinks out. And the process of trying helped us to find the drink we like and what we call our signature drinks now. And when we come every month, when we gather and we have these conversations monthly, we always order that drink, right? Because we've tried it and we found what was best and we want to stick with it. Similarly with Christianity. I just feel the need after hearing our conversations and just not necessarily adding to the conversation much, but just hearing your concerns, frustrations, curiosity about the faith. I just want to encourage you to try Christ out, to try Christianity out, and give Christ a genuine try. I know I've mentioned several times in our discussions the book titled Christian Apologetics, an anthology of primary sources, and the authors in this book do not shy away from highlighting the fact that Christianity has experienced failed missions, destruction, and selfishness. And that was in the 1700s, 1800s, 1900s, even the 21st century, and even beyond the 1700s as well. And I know in our discussions that has prevented some of you from being able to take the next mental step further in processing what it may be like to explore Christ. But I want to encourage you that even though Christianity has had dark moments for a plethora of reasons, and we can discuss those reasons further and discuss the history of it all, I want to encourage you to be open to the idea of developing a personal relationship with God. And in the process of doing so, that personal relationship, that relationship becomes your own. And you're not necessarily tied to the ways Christianity has done wrong in witnessing in the past. We are still human, and so we're learning and we're growing and we're asking God to assist us into molding into a character like His, right? And so I just want to encourage us to not think about the pitfalls of Christianity and let that be a reason why you don't want to give Christ a try, because of human error, not Christ error. And as we explore Christ further, I will also want to make it very known that you can ask me any and every question you have about Christ, God, Christianity, anything in between. No question is silly or inept. We don't know what we don't know. And I would be honored to explore the answers to the questions that you have. I do not know the answer to every question, but I am willing to partner with you guys in reading the Bible to figure out the answer, or doing some research to figure out the answer, whatever it may be. Also, a writer in the Bible, which we talked about as well, Peter, in 1 Peter and 2 Peter, he expressed how hard it is to live in a world where freedom is restricted. It's very difficult to make sense of the world and how we fit in the world without considering God or Christ. And we've talked about that in our groups, in our meetings here at the coffee shop, just how difficult it could be to live and we just feel restrained and just restricted to do things, and there's a lack of freedom. Within Christ, you will find that freedom. That sense of shackles on your life and not being able to control yourself dwindles and eventually completely disappears. And the other book that I've mentioned to you guys, Mere Apologetics by Alistair McGrath, he writes that the Christian narrative of creation, fall, redemption, and consummation help us make sense of the world. As non-believers, we struggle with making sense of the world and furthermore understanding why you are here, why you're placed here. What do you contribute to the world, if anything? And you can truly find those answers in Christ, as we've discussed and as you guys have shown interest in wanting to find those answers. Without Christ, our freedom is restricted and we are held down by sin. We lacked clarity on several things about creation around us and creation within us. And I just want to make it abundantly clear, if you choose to start your walk and your journey with Christ, it will be the best decision you have ever made, and it will be life-altering. I'm here to partner with you and walk alongside you in that season of life, as I know it's scary and it's new and it's uncomfortable and you're unsure of the outcome. You're unsure of what God may ask of you in the process. But I encourage you to trust him, and we'll take it day by day. So thank you guys for listening to what I had to say. I look forward to meeting with you next month at our next coffee talk session. Okay, have a good one.